A fair amount of people seem to be criticizing Sakamoto Desuka by calling it basically just one joke over and over again, saying the whole show is just Sakamoto acting cool and that there's nothing else to it. Now, regardless if one finds the jokes within the show to be funny, I do think that there's more to the show than just one joke. There's actually something really good going on in Sakamoto that a lot of other comedies just simply fail to utilize. In a way, Sakamoto very much follows the Tom and Jerry-esque formula, where Sakamoto is the person other people are trying to outsmart. Where I think a lot of these types of shows fall flat are that, at the end of the day, they feel somewhat mean-spirited. The party trying to outsmart the other is always going to fail in doing so, and the consequences are usually quite exaggerated. I mean, just how many times are we going to watch Squidward try to get SpongeBob and Patrick to stop harassing him, only to see Squidward fail and end up miserable? This is where Sakamoto Desuka succeeds, because even when the other person loses, they never actually lose. Their encounter with Sakamoto is always a beneficial one. By the end of the segment, no matter how crazy it may seem, Sakamoto, through some means, helps him out. And I think that's such a breath of fresh air, especially since a lot of Western cartoons in particular, as of late rely a bit too heavily on mean-spirited humor that comes off more as depressing rather than humorous. Take for example in the third episode where Kubota, someone who is constantly bullied, gets a job at a fast food place, the same joint that Sakamoto decides to get a job at. While Sakamoto ends up being very successful, Kubota struggles with his new job. This episode easily could have turned into a situation in which Kubota's own misery is the butt of the joke, and that each time Kubota tries to succeed at something, he fails and Sakamoto doesn't. However, the episode chooses to instead go for a more heartwarming message. Not only does Kubota work hard and start improving, but Sakamoto also manages to stick up for Kubota. The episode presents the idea that sticking up for other people and befriending those who may be viewed as weak is cool. This is a choice that I find to be a lot more interesting than just a barrage of mean-spirited jokes that the episode could have been. Furthermore, it's not just those being bullied that get helped by Sakamoto. Take for example the first episode in which 3 delinquents try to get Sakamoto to look like a loser, and through a series of events, they lock both themselves and Sakamoto in the closet while also starting a fire in that same room. Sakamoto not only uses clever, albeit ridiculous ways to get a teacher to look for them, but he also personally takes all the responsibility for the fire when the teacher arrives, and because of that, in spite of trying to hide it, the delinquents grow fonder of Sakamoto. At the same time, he also doesn't just give people what they want or let them push him around. He instead uses his own strange methods to either teach them a lesson or to help someone else out in the process. Take for example the episode in which Kubota's mom chases Sakamoto around the house because he looks like a famous actor she loves, much to Kubota's concern. Instead of just giving Kubota's mom what she wants, he figures out a way to solve the problem without making things awkward for Kubota or his mother. He finds a means to compromise. And that's what I like about Sakamoto. He being cool isn't just some superpower to get other people looking like buffoons, or to get him out of any situation. He actually is cool in both how other people perceive him and how he acts. You will never see Sakamoto flaunting his skills around, because at the end of the day, that's not who he is. He's more humble than that. But he also isn't someone who lets himself get walked all over. It's a nice change of pace from what I'm used to, and while I would never consider Sakamoto's character to be realistic, given the eccentric nature of the show, I also believe there are little lessons that one can take out of Sakamoto, and that's what makes it so interesting to me.